Hey guys, welcome to another Tales Channel Live. This time, I'm actually moderating, which makes a whole lot more sense considering I planned it. I think the only reason I lost to Sam last time is because he made a very good argument that it seemed a little corrupt that I was planning it and in it. That's fair. Yep. That's fair. Congratulations. This time, however, things will be completely fair, I hope. Now, again, this is the second time we've done this, so I'm going to quickly go over what our intentions are for this video series, or what's shaping to be a video series. First and most important thing you all need to know, this is slightly in parody. We want to be entertaining, but we also want to have an actual discussion. We want there to be some sort of meat to this discussion. We want to bring facts, but we also want to bring fun. So some people are going to get upset that we are interrupting each other and talking over each other. We did that last week. That is the intention of this series. Each candidate today has been told and encouraged to interrupt each other, talk over each other to an extent. The moderator will make it very clear when it's too much or it's excessive. But we definitely want them to try to slip each other up with their facts. So a few interruptions here and there is welcome, so long as it's in moderation. So now that that's out of the way, time to explain the structure of how today is going to go. So similar to last time, we did a poll asking you guys, what side are you on? Based on the results of that poll, that determines who will be delivering their open statements first. Every category, whether it is a rebuttal, an answer to one of the chat's questions, opening statements, are all 2 minutes long. It's a very rigid timer that I'm going to be timing myself, and I will be using a mute button on each individuals that go over their time. I actually don't think we set up a mute button, so I won't be using a mute button, but I will just talk over you. Or I will just...
He's not really gonna mute anybody.
I will moderate. But anyway, the way it's gonna start is, again, like I said, the opening statements will begin. Each one will be 2 minutes. Then we will move into different categories. I've broken it down into the following categories, though I'm going to be trying to take your questions from the chat. Now, guys, remember, as the stream goes on, Shani was trying to steer you guys last week into this direction, but as the stream goes on, we are going to be looking to the chat for questions, or I'm going to be looking to the chat for questions. So I understand that discussion will happen naturally in the chat while you guys are interacting with each other, but I want a majority of you to be trying to come up with questions for our candidates to answer. That helps me, and it also helps you get noticed and involved in the debate. I want both of our candidates to know that I will be taking brief recesses to answer donations. It'll be tricky because they're going to be coming in while you guys are answering. So don't feel bad if I stop you. It truly is non-biased. I do not control what donations come in, so that will break up the flow. But you might learn something new or get a new question to answer from these donations. Without any further ado, we are finally going to begin the debate. What is better, Sonic 1 or 2? Well, a majority of the chat believes 2 is better, which means that our candidate for Sonic 1...
Now, our education system has succeeded. Very good.
All right, Sam, it is not your turn. It is TWIP's turn. So, TWIP, you are now able to begin your 2-minute opening statement starting right now.
Okay. Sonic the Hedgehog is one of Sega's is actually Sega's most popular franchise ever. So many games, the fan base is excellent, and what game do we have to thank for that? The original Sonic the Hedgehog. Is it simply because it's the first game? No, I believe Sonic 1 was so well designed that it set the path for the entire franchise. And so I believe Sonic 1 balances all of its elements much better than Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which focuses on other things too much over others to make an imbalanced, intimidating, and rough experience, which is still fun, but I believe the first game was so approachable that it made the franchise such a big hit to begin with. I don't think I need anything more than that. That is my opening statement.
All right, a strong start from TWIP, and he doesn't even use his full 2 minutes. So, Sam, are you going to use your full 2 minutes?
Don't butter him up.
Hey,
okay,
man.
I got you. Whoa. Stay over there. You I know you, Evan. I know you because you're moderating.
This is your 2-minute start. This is your 2-minute
really?
start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say this. I don't hate Sonic 1. I love Sonic 1. I like all the classic games. Sonic 1 was a good start for Sonic the Hedgehog and really was a test to see what works for Sonic and what doesn't. Sonic 2 cut out the fat, took what works for Sonic, had a lot more speed and momentum-based platforming, no blocky terrain, no crap like that. Sonic 2 cut out the fat, took what works from Sonic 1 and worked with it throughout the game. Now, yes, I know TWIP is about to say, oh, but you have parts like enemy placements, this, that. Yeah, I know that there's some cheap enemy placements in Sonic 1, but listen here, buddy. Sonic 2, I'm sorry, I meant Sonic 2 with cheap enemy placements.
Are you
Sonic 2, Sonic 2 is a way better game for Sonic the Hedgehog than Sonic 1. I'm just going to say that flat out. Better design, speed, momentum, all the way through. You can fight me about it later. That's my opening statement. I'm coming here with the facts, not the lies. Let's go.
Excellent. All right, so both candidates ended their opening statements early, so we are just on fire today, probably because it's the afternoon and everybody's full of energy, so this is definitely going to be heated. So we'll get into our first category. I've looked through the chat pretty briefly and tried to grab some questions, so I will throw one question to TWIP to make sure that, you know, we're interacting with the chat the most as possible, because last time we really didn't that much. So, TWIP, your question is going to be, for 2 minutes, Gearhead is asking, how can you just say that Sonic 1 is better simply because it is the first Sonic game? Don't you think that's a little bit of a weak point? This is from Gearhead. So you may begin your response now.
Okay, I'm not saying, yes, it is the first game. Yes, that does help the franchise. But there's a reason it blew up. There's a reason so many people played the game. If the game wasn't well designed, the franchise wouldn't have blown up. I believe the reason it blew up is because it balanced the speed and platforming so well. There are a few hiccups along the way. I'm not going to deny that. Sonic 1 isn't a perfect game. But I think, compared to Sonic 2, which focuses so much on the speed to a flaw, I think that is to its detriment. Whereas Sonic 1 makes it more approachable and is focused more on being a core platformer while incentivizing more of the speed as reward rather than just giving it to you like in Sonic 2, which gives you the spin dash, which you can just use to speed past everything. Or if there's like an obstacle coming up really fast and you use the spin dash, you're going to get hit straight away. Whereas in Sonic the Hedgehog 1, you'll have stages like Spring Yard Zone, which have those half pipes that always encourage more momentum-based platforming, much more than what Sonic 2 does, in my opinion. And so it's that makes it approachable for many people because they're not intimidated by getting hit every second by going far too fast to the point where the obstacles are unseeable. The speed in Sonic 2 is cool. It does feel great. And the thing about Sonic 2 is that it leaves a greater impression on you the first time you play it, but I believe Sonic 1 leaves a longer lasting impression because you actually want to play through the whole game, whereas Sonic 2 is really punishing at almost every single turn. A quick example is in Emerald Hill Zone, Act 1. You know how you go really fast. The game gives you speed shoes along the normal path.
15 seconds.
Going really fast along the loops. And you go through a corkscrew, and then there's a spring that pushes you back, and there's rings in the air. But when you fall down, you'll either hit the spikes or you'll hit the choppers, and so it encourages you to go fast, but then punishes you by going for the rings in the air, which are placed there on purpose to give you false hope.
All right, so Sam, would you like to rebuttal?
Man, I have to rebuttal here.
All right, you may begin.
Okay. First off, I just want to say that when it comes to Sonic 1, yeah, it left a lasting impression after Green Hill Zone, because most people like to quit after playing Green Hill Zone.
Oh.
There's only a few stages in Sonic 1 that people like to play. It's Green Hill Zone and Starlight. Okay? That's like the two main ones. That's two.
Spring Yard?
Okay? Yeah.
Spring Yard.
Spring Yard's okay. It's you know what I mean? It's But now listen to me. Listen to me. TWIP, are you really going to lie to all these people at the very beginning? You're going to lie this soon? Do you want me to prove that you're lying? You said that you believe Sonic 1 handles speed and platforming better than Sonic 2. Do you agree with that? You just said, say that. Say you agree.
I will say, for them, I'm not saying it's perfect, and I'm saying Sonic 1 does. So Marble Zone is the perfect example. I agree with you there that Marble Zone slows the game down too much, but as a whole, I think the balance of speed and platforming is better.
Okay.
I
Okay,
don't think
pause
Sonic
real
1
quick.
is faster. Which is
Pause real quick.
Yeah,
I reclaim my time.
yeah.
Let's rewind back 8 months ago when he was on my debate. Listen closely, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah,
Oh,
I have
no.
this ready. Get ready. Here we go.
Oh
I don't remember
no.
saying this
Listen,
right.
listen.
Momentum, your speed, and you getting better and keeping your speed going. There's literal points in Sonic 1 where you can't just keep going. The game
I'll
will
agree
force
to
to slow
that.
you down.
I agree that Sonic 2 balances speed and platforming better than Sonic 1, which kind of just like he is.
No! Oh my!
God, I don't remember saying that. Oh no! I
So,
take it back.
Mr. TWIP,
I was wrong at that.
please.
I was wrong.
Please,
TWIP, wait, hold on, TWIP. Would you like?
Please go ahead.
Would you like to
please tell
respond?
me how?
Yes,
how
I would.
how
Right,
you
respond.
yourself was wrong.
Sam,
please.
Sam, let
Okay.
TWIP respond. Let TWIP respond.
I will
TWIP,
respond.
you may respond.
What I meant back then was that Sonic 2 was a more flowing game in terms of managing to get the speed. Well, not even get the speed, just to go fast. Sonic 2 is a much faster game than Sonic 1, and so it doesn't slow you down nearly as much as Sonic 1 does. I think that's what I was trying to say at the time, but because it was me and you and Prem all screaming and shouting at each other, I must have messed up what I was saying. I was wrong at that time. I will fully admit. I will give you the credit for that one.
Okay, I appreciate that. Now let's try to. Do you have any questions from the chat? Let's try to take some questions.
So I don't have any currently, but I do have a donation from Patty Magica with $1, and it says, so sorry, TWIP, but Sam already won this debate. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a much more enjoyable experience. The levels are way more fast-paced and have a nicer look to them. Special stages are way better, too. Today, I vote for my fellow procrastinator, Sam. And now, TWIP, that actually leads me into a question for you. So, I actually, while listening to you guys talk, I was thinking about how there might be a fundamental difference on what Sonic's concept is compared to the Japanese perspective and the American perspective. Do you think that's true at all, TWIP? And you have 2 minutes to talk about that. Starting now.
3, 2, 1, go. I'm assuming you're talking in terms of design philosophies. The thing about Sonic 1, and the thing I find so appealing about Sonic 1, is that is Sonic at his purest form. That is what they envisioned Sonic to be. Sonic 2 was probably based from feedback, from playtesting themselves, and they decided, okay, maybe people didn't like Marble Zone that much. Let's just try and cut that out, even though there's still some of that in Sonic 2, which I'll get to later. And so, yes, I do. I reckon once Sonic was more widely popular, you know, that they looked possibly at the Western market and they saw that they really liked the speed element. Chemical Plant is the perfect example. It's the complete polar opposite of Marble Zone, where it's just super duper fast. But then I think that's a flaw of Sonic 2. Yes, it is faster. Yes, that could be more fun, but are you really earning that speed compared to Sonic 1? In
Yes.
Chemical Plant Zone, there's just springs everywhere, boost pads everywhere, and not to mention the horrible pink water section. What? Which you can skip, but
hold
not
on.
many people.
He's got 50 seconds.
Shut your mouth right here. Marble Zone, for as slow as it is, I agree. There is no actual BS in that stage. For the most part, there's no BS like this block from above just killed you. There's those spiky things, which is probably the closest to you getting BS. But because the stage is so slow, and I'm not saying that's the best thing ever, the fact that Sonic 1 is a slower game but still fast makes the game more predictable. It makes the game more approachable. It makes it so that you know what's coming up for the most part, so you can avoid it. And it emphasizes skill more, whereas in Sonic 2, it emphasizes more of trial and error, where you get hit every second, you lose all your rings, and it makes the special stages hard to get into. But that's when we talk about the special stages. That is everything I've got to say.
All right, thank you so much, Sam. Before you respond, I have a few donations I'm going to read. We got one from Evan, or Wallace, as you know, and he says, "Sorry, Sam already lost because TWIP is more handsome." Sorry, Sam. We also have another donation from Jamal Simmons, $10. Thank you so much. You're both wrong. Sonic 3 with Sonic 3 and Knuckles are way better than these two games. Also, Michael Jackson made the theme too. Jamal, I appreciate your donation. However, that debate will be for another day, so we can't speak on it right now. Last donation, then you can get into your 2-minute response. I'm assuming you're going to want to do that. Sam, Heckin Mexican donated $1, and he's just laughing his butt off because you brought the receipt, Sam. All right, you may begin your... You want a rebuttal to that, right, Sam?
Yes, please.
All right, 3, 2, 1, begin.
But you mentioned that Sonic 1 is more approachable than Sonic 2, but how can you say that when people like to quit after the first zone? My point is, and by the way, you mentioned the pink water section.
Question.
No,
Where is it?
Oh, it's his time.
You
TWIP.
mentioned, hey, you mentioned the pink water section in Chemical Plant as that's being some horrible part. Hello, Labyrinth Zone has like the same thing with the boss. The water's rising. You have spears everywhere, and yeah, if you haven't noticed, that is where a lot of people can't pass Sonic 1. The boss in Labyrinth is bull crap. It is so hard to pass that zone without getting hit. It is ridiculous. And by the way, should I mention again? I haven't really mentioned why. I haven't really mentioned my point as to why Sonic 1 is lacking. There's points in Sonic 1 where you are forced to slow down for such an extended amount of time. In Sonic 2, there is points like in Metropolis Zone where you have the screw. We have to like go all the way up. Yeah, there's points where you do have to stop, but it's not as extended as what happens in Sonic 1. Sonic 1 can be a real drag if you don't have the spin dash like the Christian Whitehead port, which makes me appreciate Sonic 1 more when you have the spin dash. And that's another thing. Sonic 2 introduced the spin dash. It was such a necessary part of Sonic's moveset. It's that, yeah, your argument would be, oh, that doesn't take skill to do, but it's not given to you like the modern games nowadays where they just give you the momentum. You still have to earn that momentum. Just because Sonic can spin dash and go into a ball, I feel like there's still a bit of skill to that. And yeah, while you mentioned zones, like Chemical Plant, having speed boosts and stuff like that, you can still go really fast and still feel like you're in full control. The game is not automated.
That's all your time, Sam. I'm going to read a quick donation, and TWIP, would you like to rebuttal to that after we do that? Okay.
Yes, I would.
This will be the last rebuttal, so Sam, no matter what TWIP says, we have to move on because we've been speaking about the gameplay quite a bit, so I want to shift gears. I'll tell you what that subject is in just a minute. Shani donated $5. No one cares about Sonic 1 till a proto drops or the decompiled version shows up.
That is actually very true.
That's not a bad point. All right, TWIP, you may begin your 2-minute response.
Okay, quick question for Evan before I do this. The gameplay doesn't include special stages, right? That's a later topic.
Yeah, we're gonna bring that back later on.
Okay, this whole thing of the game forcing you to slow down is, I think, is way overemphasized. I have. Okay, so, for example, okay, that's
I'm sorry, what was that?
So basically, okay, so in Marble Zone, for example, there's one part where you have to push a block, and there's 3 like little floating blocks in the air. You can skip that entire section, jump on one block, jump on the other, jump on the other, and get over that section. And there's many sections like that where you can run on top of the lava, which is the same philosophy as Sonic 2, because in Sonic 2 you always get hit, and then you just kind of brute force yourself past everything. So if you get hit by spikes, you can just jump through all the enemies. But yeah, using your invincibility frames. Sonic 2, that is basically every stage ever. Sonic 2 also has slow moving sections like that, which is something I hate people denying because it does. Hilltop Zone, hello. The lava section where you have to wait for ages to go up and up, yawn. That is so boring. Or how about in Casino Night Zone, where there's those moving blue blocks out of nowhere, you have to wait ages. How about Sky Chase, the slowest level in Sonic history? A auto-scroller in a Sonic the Hedgehog game about going fast, and they force you on the slowest moving section in the entire classic Sonic quadrilogy. What do you think about that one, Sam?
Sky's.
Answer.
Oh wait, no.
Can I? Because it was a direct question to me.
Okay,
It was a direct question.
so you have a minute to respond.
Okay, Sky Chase is supposed to be relaxing after the hell you went through with Metropolis. Metropolis is supposed to be brutal because it is essentially the last full zone of the game. This is Eggman's main base of operations. Of course it's going to be hard. So that's why Sky Chase is a relaxing zone. It's an auto scroller, but it only lasts like a minute, just over a minute.
Oh,
it's not that long. And by the way, may I also mention, you mentioned that these sections that I'm complaining about in Sonic 1 is also in Sonic 2. If that's the case, then why are you complaining that they're in Sonic 2? If you think they're good enough to be in Sonic 1, then you should have no problem with them being in Sonic 2. Then that means you like Sonic 2 as well. Anyways.
Okay, number one, I never said I didn't like Sonic
1 minute
And
response for
number two,
TWIP, so it's fair. Go.
Okay, there's the notion that Sonic 2 cuts all the fat. May I use these example, please, as bullshit? Okay, so
Keep going.
Link Fortress Zone, you know what this picture is. You know what that's about to lead to. That's about to lead to that stupid little boost pad thingy where if you keep hold up forward, you die! Or how about in Aquatic Ruin Zone where you can't even see any of the obstacles coming your way because the art style for that zone is absolutely terrible. It's so bad. You get hit by enemies that just jump out the wall, or there's this one section where you go so fast that you skip every single thing with no skill at all, and you skip the whole level. Or how about Metropolis Zone when you're running up that little corkscrew thingy, and you get hit by that stupid enemy every single time.
10 seconds.
There's no skill, it just hits you every time. These are just some of the examples of how Sonic 2 does level design terribly.
All right, thank you so much. Hold on, Sam. The responses are done. Oh, no, responses are done.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I have donations to read. I have donations to read.
I have 30 seconds. What
No,
about
you don't. No. You're off
30
camera. I need a mute button so bad.
30 seconds.
Oh, I can mute him.
No,
30
that's done.
seconds.
No, you're
now.
muted.
Give me 30 seconds.
You're muted. All right. Sorry, Sam. You will get time. So remember, write down what you were going to say. But there are some donations, so please write down or make a note of what you wanted to say. We will have time. The Crazy Gamer donated $1.37, and he said, I love how TWIP needs a presentation at the ready while Sam speaks from the heart. Once again, I side with Sam on this one.
Oh.
Sonic 2 is better. Okay. All right. I believe that was everything. Sam, we can go back to that after, but I do want to move on to other typically overlooked elements of the game. Now, I'm seeing a lot of...
Can I respond to that comment? Sam has notes, so he's not speaking from the heart. He's using
What?
notes.
I'm writing notes!
Hold on. Okay, guys.
The
Hold on.
presentation...
Hold on.
The presentation is my notes.
Okay, so... I want to move on to, because you guys were touching on it a little bit, but I want to move on to a different category of the game that I'm curious to see if you guys are divisive on. What about the soundtrack? Since Sam just went, no wait, TWIP just went. So Sam has 2 minutes to talk about why Sam believes that the Sonic 2 soundtrack is superior to the Sonic 1 soundtrack, despite it being composed by the same individual. You may begin in 3, 2, 1.
Well, I want to make this clear that I never said that I think Sonic 2 soundtrack is better.
That's
but
fine.
I do believe it is slightly better in my opinion.
Sure.
I just think Sonic 2 just has a bit more of that funk. What is the funk? The word? Like the way there's just a good beat to Sonic 2. I feel like after Sonic 1, which also has amazing songs in Sonic 1, but Sonic 2 it really gets you energized. The Metropolis Zone, Casino Night, it really brings the atmosphere to the zones. Not to say that Sonic 1 doesn't have that, but Sonic 2 has more because Sonic 2 just has more zones. You know, Sonic 2 has an unforgettable soundtrack, and I even mentioned it. I don't know how many people agree with me. I think Emerald Hill Zone is a better soundtrack than Green Hill Zone. Like straight out, I think Green Hill Zone soundtrack is a bit overrated. I think Emerald Hill, in every way, shape, and form, is such a better intro song for Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, the Mystic Cave. Are you kidding? Mystic Cave is just so freaking awesome, bro. So awesome. Sonic 1 has nothing on these tracks. Zero. It's got nothing. What zone is Sonic 1? What zone? What zone?
Whoa. One was amazing.
That I probably missed. I meant Sonic 2. What I meant is...
Okay, clarify, Sam. Clarify. You have 40 seconds.
What part did I contradict myself in? I don't really know.
Okay, TWIP.
Sonic 1 has an amazing soundtrack, and then you said Sonic 1 has nothing on Sonic 2's soundtrack.
it has nothing like it has an just because I said that it has an amazing soundtrack as well doesn't mean that I think Sonic 2 is not superior. I think Sonic 2 is still better. I don't think Sonic 1 has anything that can battle Sonic 2 soundtrack, but I still think it's good. That's not contradicting myself.
Yes, it is. You said it had nothing on it, and that makes it sound incredibly. That
Listen
sounds like
here, bro.
TWIP, are you prepared? TWIP,
What?
TWIP, it sounds like you have a response. Would you like to take 2 minutes to
I
respond?
do.
All right, begin.
Yes, I would. Okay. At the beginning, I agreed with Sam. The fact that Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 have very close soundtracks, I think they're both excellent. And this is probably a point against me, I do prefer the Sonic 2 soundtrack, but for different reasons. Sonic 1 aims for more rustic sounding music. It aims for more music that is immersive to the zone, whereas Sonic 2 aims for more catchy melodies like Chemical Plant. It's like dun dun da 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 da. Like it aims for something that is more catchy and memorable to your head, whereas Sonic 1 goes for like Spring Yard. Da, 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 da. Like it goes for slower, funkier, and just more immersive vibes. I don't think there's anything wrong with both directions. I prefer Sonic 2's. I disagree with the Green Hill and Emerald Hill thing. Green Hill, I mean, for as much as it is reused, that is easily one of the best Sonic songs out there, and it's definitely better than Emerald Hill. Though that is it's very personal taste, but I find Green Hill zones to have more layers and fits the zone of Green Hill, more than Emerald Hill fits the zone of Emerald Hill. So my argument here really is just, they both go for different things, and I do prefer Sonic 2's, but I respect what Sonic 1 was going for, which was to be more fitting to the levels. And I do agree, Mr. Cave is fantastic. So it's bopping. Yeah.
All right, Sam.
Can I respond now from a while back, please? I am dying.
Absolutely. You would like 30 seconds?
30 seconds. That's all I need.
Okay, and that means we have to give the same privilege to TWIP after. So TWIP, just make sure
This is
you
a
know
rebuttal.
that.
This
That's
is a
fine.
rebuttal
He might
after
want
what he mentioned.
Right, but we need to give each side the same amount of time to speak on each issue, which means that TWIP will get the last word regardless if he wants to.
Okay.
Anyway, you may begin.
Okay, when TWIP showed the pictures of those badniks saying, oh, look, they're cheap, you won't be able to see them coming. Hello, you have the same problem in Sonic 1 with Burbot, which, by the way, it didn't bother me in Sonic 1 either. I'm not saying it bothers me because the worst thing that happens is you just lose rings. You pick them back up. It's not like you get a game over, right? You don't just die.
12
you
seconds.
Lose some ring. Okay, so yeah, Burbot is the same problem in Sonic 1. He's the same as Grounder. In Labyrinth Zone, you mentioned that you can skip parts, or in Marble Zone you can skip parts. You can do the same in Sonic 2. You can skip parts.
All done. That's it. Okay, TWIP, would you like to respond?
Yes, I would like to respond.
Begin.
So if you're saying you can skip them in Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, then why did you bring that up as a complaint to begin with, Sam? Why are you saying you did kind of save yourself here, but with the enemies in Metropolis Zone, you're saying Sonic 1 has the same thing? No. Sonic 2 is so much worse. They put so much more enemies. And
10 seconds.
Then they milk out Metropolis Zone for 3 zones, and it's inconsistent with the rest of the game. Sonic 1 also has 3 zones per area. But that allows you to
okay, stop. All right, thank you. Thank you.
Just stepped on a trip,
Thank you.
my friend.
Whoa. Wait, hold on. I have donations. Pause. Write down what you were going to say. Don't forget it. We have a donation that is $5 from Late Food. I love these debates so much. They give me so much joy. I'm with Sam for Sonic 2, but I wish TWIP good luck. What a happy and positive comment. We got one more donation, and then TWIP can run like wildfire and do his response. This is from Is Shadow, and Is Shadow donated $1. And it says, the fact that Sonic 1 not having the spin dash is a big loss, because if for some reason you lose speed near a loop, you are forced to stop, go back, and try to get enough momentum to go pass it. Sonic 1 also has 3 acts. That is way too much. And Lab Z sucks. All right, Sam, do you need anything? Do you want to say anything to that?
Literally 8 seconds. 8 seconds of what he said before.
8 seconds? Well, do you want to respond to anything that Is Shadow just mentioned in the comments as well?
Actually, you know what? Bring it to 30 seconds because it does kind of intertwine with what I was going to say.
You're entitled to 2 minutes, and I'll just stop you whenever you stop. You may begin.
Okay. TWIP, why are you... and you can answer this when I'm done. Why are you complaining about 3 acts? Because Sonic 1 is full of 3 acts. Thank you. I think 3 acts is also one too many as well. I think the 2 acts in Sonic 2, it keeps it going. It keeps it going. And the stages don't feel like they're overstaying. They're welcome. All right. And that's really the main thing I just have to say is, again, what many people in the chat haven't noticed. They're bringing up 3 acts is only hurting your own statement here. Sonic 1 is full of 3 acts, especially with zones like Labyrinth Zone, which go to a crawl, and Marble Zone. That shit just goes on for so long. That's really all I have to say regarding those acts and that donation. Yeah, so please continue.
May I respond?
Yes, you would.
I'm not going to lie to myself. I agree that the 3 acts thing is too much. I don't like that there's 3 acts per zone, but I can at least argue that with the 3 acts, it allows you to become more familiar with the mechanics of each zone, whereas in Sonic 2, because there's so many different zones, players might become too overwhelmed and unfamiliar with each of the zones' specific gimmicks, and then it throws out the worst zone and gives you 3 acts for them. And the acts on there are longer than the ones in the rest of the game, and so that brings it down to like an extra crawl, and it's inconsistent for that game in particular. Again, I agree that the 3 acts thing is far too much. Maybe they should have spiced up the music. Maybe they should have had different time of days for each of the zones to make it better. But yeah, to me though, in Sonic 2, sometimes I feel that the zones were a bit too short, and I think the main thing that gets me there is that the bosses at the end of Zone 2, I don't know, I feel like they come far too close. I think the bosses in Sonic 2 should have been their own separate zone rather than part of the second act. I don't know, that's just a me thing, but yeah, you know what? I'll agree that the 3 zones thing is too much, but it's at least consistent for the whole game.
All right,
Well,
pause just because I have to read some donations. Sam, of course, is happy you agree. This is from Charles. He donates $2, saying something I'm quite fond of. He says, Sam wins this one. Sorry, TWIP. Evan won the last one. I like that one. I liked reading that one. Thanks so much,
Evan
Charles.
didn't win,
Okay, TWIP, we are not talking about that right now. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on.
Clearly, he didn't win because
Well, votes aren't always entirely accurate. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to a new.
Wow, we're going there, huh? We're going there.
We're gonna move on to another subject. This is a question from Sonic Prower. We are going into chat questions now. I've collected some as the stream went on, so don't worry. If you had a good question or if I noticed it, it'll be in my list. But this first one is from Sonic Prower, as I'll say again, and they ask. How are Sonic 2's special stages better than Sonic 1's, or vice versa? Did Sam just go? Sam just went, right?
Yeah, let TWIP go first.
So yeah, TWIP, you may begin now. Why your special stages are better?
Fantastic! This is the part. Okay, Sonic 2's special stages are absolutely abysmal. I'm not counting the Christian Whitehead port because in there they're much better because the rendering is way better. In the original Sonic 2, the special stages are hot garbage for multiple reasons. Number one, the way you access them, you get 50 rings and you get to a checkpoint and the thing goes around you. If you go slightly off screen, bam, it's disappeared. The fact that you lose your rings every second in Sonic 2 makes it so hard for that to happen. Bam, that's bad. So I think the way you enter them is bad, whereas in Sonic 1, yeah, you could argue it's harder, but because the levels are slower and they're more predictable to traverse around, they're easy, and you don't move past the goal ring, the goal post at the end of the level, because Sonic 2 doesn't have that crazy high speed like Sonic 2. You're always likely to jump into the special stage ring. And so I just think the access, yes, there's less chances of you getting into the special stages, but when you do, you're more likely to actually get into them rather than in Sonic 2. So that's a trade-off right there, but I think Sonic 1 does it way better. So in terms of the actual stages themselves, Sonic 2's, the fact that the rings barely show up until you're right on a turn and the rings just show up there, wham, bam, it's terrible. The only way you can possibly do these special stages is if you know them inside and out. If you've predicted the level layout for the entire all special stages, you can do them. And they're easy once you know the exact layout. Sonic 1 is a bit unpredictable to control because the stage is tilting, but at least you're not going to get killed in like 5 seconds flat because it actually tells you where to go with the rings. There'll be like an arrow of rings, and you'll be able to do them. And then there's Tails. Everyone knows about Tails in Sonic 2. He ruins you all. And yes, you can play as just Sonic. Can you do that in Sonic? I don't know if you can do that in the original Sonic 2. But I would argue that the fact that you're having to get rid of Tails is a detriment anyway. So, boom.
All right, that's it. Sam, would you like to respond?
Yes.
All right, begin now.
So the special stations in Sonic 2 are handled, in my opinion, way better than Sonic 1. First reason why is because you get multiple attempts with the special stages, unlike in Sonic 1. In Sonic 1, you have a very short, fixed amount of times you can attempt it before you run out of time to get all the Chaos Emeralds. In Sonic 2, as long as you find a checkpoint in 50 rings, you could retry a special stage as many times as you want. You could redo special stage. You could get all the Chaos Emeralds by Emerald Hill Zone in Sonic 2. You can't get all the Chaos Emeralds in Green Hill Zone in Sonic 1. You can't. You get way more attempts in Sonic 2. Now, I will mention this. The special stages in Sonic 1, you can lose without it being any fault of your own. There will be parts where the stage is just rotating constantly, and you don't really have much control over Sonic. You can lose in Sonic 1, and it's not your fault. That can happen.
That's wrong.
No, that's not true. Now, with Sonic 2, they are a visual masterpiece. They were technologically some of the best things you can have on the Sega Genesis because they are mimicking 3D models without having real 3D. It was really cool engineering that they did to get that to happen. And again, to all the people that say, oh, the Sonic 2 special stages are too hard, I beat it when I was 6 years old. Okay? 6 years old on my Sega Genesis. On my Sega Genesis, okay? I'm not done talking, young TWIP master Benedict.
Oh, you don't have to. Whoa.
Stay over there, Benedict.
You don't have to
Benedict.
yell. I'm the moderator. I can handle it.
But now what I will say is when it comes to, for example, I just did Special Stage 8 for the first time ever. That's the Christian Whitehead port of the game. They had a cut stage that was Special Stage 8. It was the first time I played it on stream, and I could have beat it if I had like one more attempt on it. It was like my third attempt, and I could have beat it. It doesn't take that much memorization to memorize these stages, which is why they give you so many attempts at it, why you can attempt it so many times.
5 more seconds.
Sonic 1 special stages, you can lose without it being a fault of your own, and it's way too cheap.
All right.
Way too cheap.
Thank you. All right, so we got another donation, actually a couple more. So there might be some questions packed in here, so try your best to address them in your next statement. But this is from Is Shadow again. He donated $1. He says, about special stages. Sonic 1 special stages are useless and completely random, while in Sonic 2, once you memorize them, you are good, and they actually give you something. The super form, that adds replayability as you want to retry zones with the super form. That's the end of that donation. The next donation is from Radiance, and they donated $5. Thank you so much. It says, bruh, Labyrinth Zone literally has 4 acts. This was from a while ago, so it's probably referring to something you said a while ago. This last one is from Shani, donating $5. Again, thank you so much. This is a legitimate question for right now. It said that Sonic 1 changed the game industry. Can TWIP answer what influence Sonic 2 brought to gaming? So I believe Sam just went. So TWIP, you have 2 minutes.
Yeah, can I not argue? I'm not done with the special stage thing. Is that
you would like to rebuttal to that? Then you may do that.
Yes.
Okay.
You can start now.
You were talking about how you could have done it second try on the Christian Whitehead port. The one where it's way easier to see the stages. In that port, they're way better. Absolutely way better. The fact that you're saying, oh, the fact that you have to memorize it, that's why they give you so many attempts. That sounds like a detriment to the design. They know that they're hard to do because of BS and you can't see the stage at all, so they give you a lot of attempts. That's just, I don't know what the word, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like, it has to make the design, it has to give you multiple chances because the design of the special stages are bad. And in Sonic 1, you press the reverse buttons, you press the buttons that make it go fast and go slow. You do have control over it. I'll agree that in some cases, you can just fall and then hit the goal thing.
That sounds like a big detriment.
No, but that is possible. But in Sonic 2, if you don't have it memorized, you're pretty much screwed. You could probably get away with doing the first 2, 3, first try, but after that, especially with Tails, you're screwed. And the fact that the game has to give you so many chances, which are going to be hard to get because you always lose rings so fast in the game because the game is set up so that you always lose your rings. It just leads to a terrible setup special stage. And just the entrance to special stages and the actual ones themselves are just so much worse than Sonic 1.
They are worse than Sonic 1, you're right. So I do.
Are you going to rebuttal to that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, begin.
I want to be clear. Me memorizing where things are on the stage is not like I can't memorize better because of the Christian Whitehead ports. That bringing up that port, it doesn't mean anything with me memorizing where things are. What I'm saying is it doesn't take a whole lot of memorization to know the patterns, because the patterns they have for the stages are very repetitive and purposely done so you memorize them and you know what's coming up.
No,
Right? Now hold on.
So,
Now
yeah.
what I will say is you have failed to mention again the fact that you are mentioning that with memorization you can do the Sonic 2 stages. But you just said that it could be at no fault of your own that you can lose in Sonic 1s. How can there's no way to get better at that. There's no way to fix that. But there's a way to fix Sonic 2s, which is to memorize them. You can't do that in Sonic 1s because you can lose at no fault of your own.
Are you done?
In Sonic 2's, the way they fixed it was.
Well, okay, so we're gonna move on. Or we're gonna move on.
Can I add a 10? Can I add a 10-second statement?
A 10-second statement.
I'll allow it.
Sure.
Okay. The reason that Christian Whitehead poured you have to memorize as much is because you can see the rings further ahead in advance. That's it.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to read a few more donations. Red Hot Sonic donates £5 and says, Sonic 1 is the most nostalgic, but nostalgic. But Sonic 2 is the best. Also, you beat Sonic 2 at only 6 years old? Try beating Sonic 1 when I was 3 and then beating them. So all 4 of them, or Sonic 4. Anyway, thank you so much for the support. Sonic Pox also donates.
That was
what? What's that?
That's okay. I just thought of another argument that I've just been given.
Oh, hold on. You can make a note of that. Sonic Pox donated $5 and said, just sending some love. Hope everybody's keeping well. Stay true, stay blue. Thank you so much, Sonic Pox. You're such a sweetheart. Okay, so TWIP, you had something you wanted to say in regards to that topic, but unfortunately we have to move on. We might be able to return to this.
Right, no. I'm done with the special stage thing.
Oh, great.
But you did just get a donation that says, did you know you can just say it to Sonic only? Yes, I did. And if you have to do that when the whole point of Sonic 2 is that it has Tails as well, and you have to turn Tails off for the special stage to be more bearable, that's bad design.
So is this a 2-minute statement? Or are you done with that? You're just reading the donation for me?
Oh, no, I just wanted to read that donation, yeah.
All good. Thank you so much, Jaden, for the $5. Does TWIP not realize? Okay, yeah, he does. Okay, so we're going to move on to a subject that you guys touched on a little bit, but I want to make sure we cover it in depth because I know that I see it on social media quite a bit. This is not a question from the chat. This is something I personally want to cover because I see it on Twitter all the time.
Damn, that's really selfish.
It may seem trivial to you, but the visuals. So we're just gonna focus entirely on the visuals. The main divisive subject is the sprite itself. So some people say that, like, in Sonic 1, Sonic is slightly purple and his proportions are a little bit off. But there are also some sprite issues in Sonic 2 as well. So let's see what you guys know about it. I actually don't remember who was the last to speak because it got a little chaotic there. But I believe it was Sam. Yeah.
No, I give TWIP. I let TWIP have a
10-second response, but he hasn't had a full 2 minutes, so let's let him start this subject. So TWIP, you can begin on the visuals of the game. It doesn't have to be about the sprite, but I just wanted to re-jog your memory on that conversation. Okay. You can begin now.
Yeah. Okay. See, the whole these sprite glitches. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not too familiar with the sprite glitches and stuff. Sonic is obviously the main contention of discussion. It's so preferential. I don't think there's an objectively better look for Sonic. Things that are more... Okay, so this is what I do in my YouTube thumbnails. Things that look more contrasted and saturated tend to stand out more and look more appealing at first glance. So I think Sonic 2 has that going for it. Whereas in Sonic 1, everything's a little bit less saturated and it's more down to earth. I don't have a preference. I think Green Hill Zone compared to Emerald Hill, I think Green Hill Zone has a lot more layers to it as an actual environment itself. Like, if you just look at the different layers in the background, I feel like Green Hill Zone is more fleshed out. But then I would also go ahead and say that Sonic 2 has more variety with its levels, you know? Like, it has Mystic Cave, and it has Chemical Plant, even Metropolis. Like, I think it's a visually more interesting game, Sonic 2. But I don't think there's a better art style. That's it.
All right, Sam, so you're done, right? TWIP, sorry. It sounded like you were done.
Yep, that's it.
All right, thank you so much, TWIP. Sam, I'm going to add a question into your response just because I think it's relevant, and I wrote it down from earlier in the chat. This is a question for Sam. You say that Sonic 2 is better. This is from, I actually can't read this name. Pamigimius? Anyway, it says, for Sam, you say that Sonic 2 is better for Sonic, but does that mean it's the better video game? you can like kind of I feel like that's kind of loosely tied to what we're talking about. I really wanted to incorporate it though, because I thought it was a really good question, but it's a quick answer. So you can begin now.
Okay, so what I'm going to interpret that question first is regarding the better video game. I would say as a starting point, I would choose Sonic 2 because, again, after the first stage in Sonic 1, you're going to get hit in a first-time player is going to die a lot. I feel like players are not going to really find problems with Sonic 2 maybe until, I don't know, Oil Ocean. I think, or Mystic Cave. I think around there is when a first-time player might find a bit of trouble. So I think Sonic 2 is just a better game overall when it comes to just trying to relax and just mindlessly play. Now, regarding the visuals for the games, I'm gonna have to say Sonic 2 is way better with visuals. I'm not gonna argue too much because TWIP literally argued for me and said Sonic 2 is better. So I mean, literally, what I'm saying is, yeah, the sprites in Sonic 2 are better. Like I mentioned, the special stages, it is technologically something that was crazy that they could achieve on the Genesis, mimicking a 3D space with sprites. Again, the level backgrounds, I do think they're way more better. They're way better than Sonic 1's. Sonic 1's, while they weren't bad by any means of Sonic 1's, I definitely think Sonic 2 definitely has a bit more of that dynamic, a bit more color, like you mentioned, more saturation. I feel like that fits more with Sonic's world. And yeah, I also just I don't really have regarding the sprite with Sonic 1, like the glitch, I don't really know about that one. What I will say is I do find Sonic's color in 2 a bit better. I do like it a bit more than Sonic 1's color, but I feel like the sprites are pretty much the same, so no real arguments there. And that's pretty much all I have to say regarding that.
Can I rebuttal?
You would like to rebuttal? Okay, I can give you a 2-minute rebuttal now.
Art style. He mentioned something really quickly.
Yeah, please rebuttal now.
He said that up until Mystic Cave, you can mindlessly play Sonic 2, which is a point of discussion in of itself. That is the thing with Sonic 2. It is mindless because it goes in the same formula. Spin dash, you get hit by some bullshit obstacle, and then you just brute force through it with another spin dash. Boom. That is the entire game. Sonic 1 is more involved than that because you're actually having to think about where you're going to jump because the game is more focused.
Yeah, you have to think about how the game is forcing you to stop. Is that your antidote? Is that the antidote? Being forced to stop and push blocks? Is that the antidote?
This thing, Stan.
I don't think it is.
This is Sam's rebuttal. Or sorry, TWIP's.
You're right, it is my rebuttal.
No, it's not. No, it's not. TWIP, go.
We already discussed that you could skip. Okay. Let me bring back this.
All right, here we go.
I didn't use it. Okay, so in Hilltop Zone, there are parts where you go inside the actual cave parts. You have to either go on these moving platforms, so you jump all the way down, and you 9 out of 10 times get hit by lava. So you can skip it, but you get punished for doing so. So yeah, Sonic 2 has the same thing. It's mindless.
Sam,
like I'm using your words.
Do you want to? You got to rebuttal? You're gonna rebuttal to that, right? Or no?
Sonic 2 is mindless. I feel yeah, I'll rebuttal to Sonic 2 being mindless. Literally, Sonic 2, you keep on saying that the Sonic 2 is mindless. No, it's fair. That's the difference. It's not mindless. It's fair. What do you mean? You've been saying mindless for so long.
Whoa, okay, so it's okay, guys. Both of you, stop. Both of you, stop. Sam, I'm gonna throw it to you. Sam, just stop. So what I want to say is that it's clear that TWIP is, trying to focus on something you had said. He's quoting something you had said in this debate. So, Sam, all you really need to do is clarify. Just clarify what your point was.
When I say mindless, I mean like just trying to play a game and not think about anything else. That's what I mean by mindless. Not meaning like just hold right and let Sonic play itself. When I say mindless, listen here, dude. When I say mindless, I mean just turning off your brain and relaxing and playing a game. That's it. What you're saying is Sonic 1 is better at that because it forces the player to think. I don't think it forces the player to think. I think it forces the player to know that he's not having a good time right now because he wants to go fast, but he can't. That's what you're thinking about. I'm thinking about Sonic 1 and how more open it is and how momentum-based platforming takes effect in Sonic 2 way more than it does in Sonic 1.
So that topic I think is pretty well covered. Sam made a clarification, so we are covered in that. We have a bunch of donations and questions. You guys are probably gonna have to. I'm gonna give you a little bit more time to answer these ones because I'm gonna try to pack questions together. So if you have a pencil and a paper near you and you can make like a quick jot, I'm writing down all the questions too. So if you need a reminder on what the questions are, I will tell you. Just write down what you want to say about them, and I'll try to like remind you of what they fit with. But there's a lot of really good questions, and they come from donations, and that's got to take priority. So, Benny donates £2. This is not really a question. Lemau, Sam's kicking ass in a suit again. I love it. The next donation...
You know what I will say, Sam? Nice suit.
Thank you so much.
We'll get into compliments later. Hold on. Just save your compliments.
Nice t-shirt.
Oh, okay, all right. This is from Dave the Lurker, from, I think previously from Sonic Retro, way back in the day. Donates $5. Thank you so much. No. He says, Sonic 1 was made by a small team who knew each other in Japan. Sonic 2 was a joint US/Japan team. But there was a language barrier issue. Pros and cons of each. So that's a question. So that's one of the questions. So write down the pros and cons that you think of having a small team for Sonic 1 in Japan or a Sonic 2 dev team where it's a joint effort between America and Japan, and so some things can kind of get mixed up and lost in translation. There's only 2 more donations to read, so not too many notes to take, so write down what you want to say about that. Another donation came in from the Red Hot Sonic. He donates £5 and says, I gotta go. Sonic 1's background and layer deformation is improved in the Japanese version compared to the North American and European version. Emerald Hill Zone background is broken. Yep. Okay, so Sam, make a note of that on what you're going to say about that. One more. This is from Is Shadow again. Thank you so much. Donates $1, and he says, about new players stuff. I wanted to say that in Sonic 2, you can play as Tails. That is sort of an easy mode, and I think it is a great thing for new players that are still learning the mechanics, and they can also explore better with Tails' flying ability. So that's something I'm sure you guys have already thought about in the discussion, but it's good to bring up, so it's part of this debate. We definitely don't want to forget about the new character introduced in the sequel. Definitely a big deal. So that's basically all the things that I'd like you guys to address in your now buffed up time of 3 minutes to address those kind of 3 questions so we can check them out before we run out of time here. Okay. So I believe it was TWIP that was just speaking, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Sam, you get 3 minutes to try to tackle those questions.
Okay.
Starting
so
now.
First, I want to mention Red Hot Sonic. Can you explain how it's broken? Because I don't know what you mean by how the parallax scrolling is broken. Because I don't think I remember it being broken. Let me respond to the
TWIP,
one
you'll be able to respond and explain it. So make a note of that. Sam, keep going.
Rebuke my time. I want to mention somebody mentioning Tails. I will correct him. You can't fly in Sonic 2 with Tails. You can't fly yet. So it's not an easier game quite yet. It's just kind of like a reskin.
So that's more of a point for Sonic 3. Keep going.
But there is a little brother mode with 1.5 player mode. Better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
I will mention. Thank you, moderator. I will mention. Just as a whole, regarding Tails, is the game. I feel like it has more of a narrative compared to Sonic 1. While Sonic 1 is kind of just save the animals, Sonic 2 does the same thing, but you're also building a relationship with Tails. I mentioned this before, but I love the bad ending in Sonic 2 because it really shows that dynamic between the two characters. It really shows that, Sonic needs Tails. Tails saves him in the end. And even if you get all the Chaos Emeralds, Tails goes to try to help Sonic, even if Sonic was flying on his own with the Chaos Emeralds. But it shows that they need each other. They were there for each other. And I love just that dynamic. That's something, I don't know what you're talking about. That's something that Sonic 1 I feel like lacks narratively, is to really feel like the player really accomplished a whole lot, especially when you get all the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 2. You could really feel accomplished when you get Super Sonic, something you can't have in Sonic 1. You really feel that feeling of accomplishment at the end of Sonic 2. And when it's all said and done, you can listen to Sweet Dreams, which is such an amazing song. And the way they show you that and make you feel that you really did something is just incredible. And I really just don't feel like I get that at the end of Sonic 1. So I feel like that's really all I have to say.
You have
regarding
50 seconds.
that.
Do you want to talk anything? Do you want to say anything about what Dave the Lurker was mentioning about?
Oh yes. Thanks for reminding me. Regarding the teams, I don't think it really. So my main thing regarding the teams is I don't know if that really means anything with how, like how it really changes how we feel about the game at the end of the day. I will say when it comes to having a smaller team, I guess there would be less room for there to be changes, like in terms of like Sonic 1 felt relatively. I don't know how to. I really don't know how to say it. I guess like Sonic 1 felt a bit more streamlined. I guess in the end of the day, a bit more streamlined. Sonic 2.
Thanks,
Yeah, no,
Sam.
I know. I will say
appreciate
Sonic 1
that.
does
Thank
feel a bit more streamlined, but Sonic 2, I think because it has a bigger team, it probably had more people putting their input in on the game. But in the end, I think that doesn't really matter. I think the end product is the end product, and that's what we should focus on. And at the end of the day, I still think Sonic 2 is just a better end product overall.
All right, and time. TWIP, you are now able to address all the same points, and you have 3 minutes starting now.
I agree with Sam on the narrative thing. I don't think it's that great. That obviously wasn't that much of a focus in any of the games, but Sonic 2 technically does have more of it. Shall I use Sam's words? It's better than nothing. I think that's a bad argument. Saying something is better than nothing, like.
But
really?
when it's true, it's true.
You're saying, yeah, it's true. But Marty number 9, you're saying, oh, it's in the game. It technically works. It's better than nothing. That's lame. So yeah, I agree with you on the narrative thing. Having Tails control the same as Sonic, and I'd like to address this to the chat. We are talking about the original versions of Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. We're not talking about any of the remasters or anything. It only makes it fair because if we used all the other versions, I could say Sonic 1 has the Spin Dash and Tails and Knuckles and Super Sonic. But we're not doing that because I want to make the argument more fair. So,
but notice how when it brings in elements from Sonic 2, it becomes a better game.
Small team versus large. Okay, small team versus large team thing. I guess it gives them more feedback to work with. If we've got 2 different teams from 2 different regions, they can actually look at the player base and see if they see the 2 different things they like. It might cause a bit of a clash between them, but that becomes a design challenge in of itself. Can they make a game that pleases both audiences at the same time? And I think that would make for a much more interesting game. But I think Sonic 2 got it all wrong. Sam said that Sonic 1 was a more streamlined game, which makes it more approachable, which makes it, in my opinion, a way better game than Sonic 2, and it's the reason Sonic will game with. As we said, does Sonic 2 change the industry? Does it? Does that change the industry, the game industry? Did Sonic 1 change the games industry? Yes. So, what was the last thing? Green Emerald Hill broken. I honestly, I was just, I have no idea about that.
Did you make any comment? I think you did make a comment about the language barriers. I think I remember you touching on that. So I think you managed to answer everything in under time. So are you all set?
Yeah, that's me. I'm all set for that.
Right on. Sam, do you need to rebuttal to anything that TWIP just said?
Yeah, I will mention.
Begin now.
One thing, if I remember what it was. I'm like drawing a blank on what he said.
Oh no, Sam ran out of energy. He was yelling too much.
No, hold on, wait. No, moderator, stop! Stop it! Stop working with TWIP. Listen, hold on.
You seem tired.
Oh no, yeah, okay,
Hey,
this is what it was. Me mentioning that the game is more streamlined. I'm not saying it's streamlined for players. I'm saying it's more streamlined that it feels relatively consistent throughout the experience. I'll say like Sonic 1. There is 2 fast zones in the game. Rebuttal. But Sonic 1 has the same feeling overall. I feel like Sonic 2, they do throw a few curveballs at you throughout the experience that changes it up. Like I said, like, you got Sky Chase and stuff like that. But I still think Sonic 1 is still I still think Sonic 1 is not as easy for a first-time player to play as Sonic 2. I still think Sonic 2 is still a way better game for like a kid to play, because I feel like they can get farther and play longer before they probably reach something that they can't beat. Sonic 1, again, they'll probably get a game over in the second zone. So
that's because Chemical Pan plays by itself.
All right, so Sam is done rebuttaling. So I have to read a chunk of a few more donations. So we're gonna go into our closing statements now, though. So TWIP will start just like the beginning, and then Sam will follow up and go last. I try to incorporate answers to these donation answers the best you can, but you do not have to. So here's a few donations. Triple Jump donated £5 and says, TWIP, you said Sonic 2 was unfair, yet you also claim it is mindless. What is it? This is £2 from Red Hot Sonic, clarifying upon Sam's request, saying, I meant FG is broken. I don't exactly know what that stands for. FG is broken.
Foreground?
Yeah, it's foreground. 2 lower row of pixels are wrong. So Sonic 2 has like a few issues.
2 pixels?
All right.
Come on, man. Who sees the pixels?
Red Hot Sonic's just flexing his
But does it run on
knowledge.
real hardware?
Hold on.
Does it run on real hardware?
Hold on. There are more donations. Hold on. So I see the cool. This is just a joke donation. I see the cool donates $5 and says Sam's been stuck inside for so long he's got to use every chance he can get to wear a suit. Prompt: the salami lid. Will it fit? Yeah, so none of that is relevant to the discussion, but it is hilarious nonetheless. Thank you so much, I See the Cool. So basically, we mainly have to address in your closing statements. For TWIP, you said Sonic 2 was unfair, yet you claim it is mindless. Which is it? But I actually want to bring back a question that TWIP touched on a little bit, but Sam didn't really go into. So let's reframe this for Sam for his closing debate or closing statement. The question was from Shani. Sonic 1 changed the game industry. So what did Sonic 2 do for the game industry? So really try to focus on games and not just the Sonic franchise. So we're going to start with TWIP for his closing statements, his 2-minute closing statements. And you can begin.
God. I have to tackle all this for the entire close.
Oh, I can do 3 minutes. I'll do 3 minutes. You can bring up a good point.
Can we do 3 minutes?
3 minutes is great with me. All right, let's begin now.
Okay, so one thing we didn't talk about was the final bosses of both games. Sonic 2's final boss is complete BS. All they were bosses give you rings, and then for the final bosses, it wants you to do two bosses in a row with no rings. You can get eventually, but people always get to the final boss and then just get game overs every time. It's really frustrating. Sonic 1 has the same thing where you don't get rings, but it's a much smaller boss fight, so it's very doable. Whereas in Sonic 2, you've got the Death Egg robot, and he's got those little spikes, and they're really touching, finicky. You can easily die by them, and so it's just more unfair challenge from Sonic 2. Final boss sucks. What was I going to talk about? There's just too much in my head. I'm freezing.
It was
I think
mindless.
Sonic 1's level design was the mindless but unfair. They both go hand in hand, my friend. Mindless part is getting hit and then you just jump out and spin dash out of the way or something. So you'll run, you'll get hit, you'll just keep on going forwards. That's what I mean by mindless. They're both the same, one in the same thing. I think Sonic 1 has most thought out level design entirely. Green Hill Zone especially took, I think, 6 months alone just to do that, and I think it's a good tutorial zone for the game. Whereas in Sonic 2, is there anything in that game that actually teaches you how to spin dash? People discover the spin dash by being told what it is outside of the game. In the game itself, is there anything in the game that's like, here's where you use the spin dash? No, because you can use it everywhere, and it's the best option always. It's always the best thing to do in that game. There's no choice. It's just spin dash. It's fast. There's no challenge in performing it. You just do it. Simple as that. Overall, again, the whole industry thing. Sonic 1, obviously, it's the first game, so it is more likely to have an impact than Sonic 2 because it's not being done before, and obviously it was the whole Mario thing, like that's the inspiration, you go fast, and so I feel like that argument might be a bit unfair to put onto Sonic 2. But overall, I think Sonic 1 is it's more thought out. I think the level design is more fair. Yeah, there are slow sections, but there are also slow sections in Sonic 2. They both have that kind of issue, but in Sonic 1, you can skip loads of it. Again, less BS. Visuals and music is very subjective, but I do think Sonic 2 has better of both, but not by much. I think Sonic 1, here's the best part. Sonic 1 encompasses more of the design philosophy of classic Sonic of earning speed as a reward rather than it just being given to you. That's what Sonic was about. That's what the classic games were about. And I think Sonic 1 encompasses that much, much, much more than Sonic 2, where you've got boost pads and you've just got the spin dash and you don't really earn the speed. And so with that is my closing statement.
All right, 10 seconds to spare too. All right, Sam, are you ready for your closing statement?
Yes.
All right, begin now.
Ready. So I mentioned this in the last debate, but I'm a common sense person. I don't like to twist too many things here. I just want to come out right up front and just say the facts here. TWIP, I will respond to one thing you mentioned in your closing statement, that there's nothing in the game that teaches you how to spin dash. Back in the day, there was a thing called a game manual, and people had to look at the game manual if they wanted to get the narrative and stuff like that. Not a lot of games back then were able.
Hold on.
That was a constant for every game back then. That is a norm. So anyways, what I will say regarding the closing statements for Sonic 2, in the end of the day, regarding like what it brings to the game industry and stuff like that, it really showed the best way for people to design Sonic the Hedgehog for the games. There's a reason why people feel like Sonic CD, for example, isn't as good as Sonic 2 either, because Sonic CD kind of feels more like Sonic 1, a bit more blocky, a bit slower paced.
But there's a reason that people
like Sonic
you
need to stop talking right now. That's what I think.
Closing
honestly.
statement,
I mean,
Sam.
But what I will mention is, again, that it showed people the best of what Sonic can be. The best of Sonic 1 was the first zone. The best of Sonic 2, I can't just pick one zone because a lot of the zones share the same idea of momentum-based platforming. He keeps mentioning Chemical Plant with boost pads, but really Chemical Plant is really the only zone that really has boost pads. It's kind of like the gimmick of the zone, which is the speed, which is okay for them to showcase, because in Chemical Plant, you can outrun the screen. You can outrun the screen in Sonic 2. You know how badass that is for a first-time player in the 90s to outrun the screen, the player? That's so freaking cool.
Agreed.
He mentioned the super hard boss at the end of Sonic 2. The end of Sonic 2 does have a really hard end game, but I feel like that's what makes it really special, is it really makes it feel like you accomplish something when you beat it. It's not impossible. Again, I beat the game when I was 6 years old. That's not an excuse. The game the end boss was supposed to be hard.
Stop.
It was supposed to be hard because you were meant to replay the game. Replay the game over and over. That's the point. It's okay for them to do that.
50 seconds.
It's okay for them to have a hard final boss. When it's all said and done, when it comes to the narrative, the visuals, the music, Sonic 2 has guns ablazing when it comes to showing what the best, all the things that Sonic could do best. That's my reason why Sonic 2 is just a better overall experience than Sonic 1. Thank you.
All right, and with
night.
30 seconds to spare, competitive. So guys, now is the time. I'm putting a poll. I am pinning it to the top of the chat where people will vote. This poll is now labeled with each candidate next to what they believe or what they agree with. I am pinning it now. It should be at the top of your chat. I don't see it on the top of mine yet. Give me a second here.
I see it.
Okay, great. That's good. It should be working. Oh, there it is. Okay. So while this is happening, I'd like you guys to say at least just one nice thing about each other. So TWIP, starting with you, just say one nice thing about Sam over here.
About the discussion or about him in general?
About him in general.
Your suit looks nice.
That's it? Come on.
No. He did have the receipts for some of the stuff, and I respect that. I don't remember ever seeing that in your discussion, but he did have it, and yeah, that was a flaw on my end. I did not have that kind of receipt, so I think you definitely put up a good discussion. Again, I think you contradicted a lot of your points, and I'm glad that your closing statement didn't mention anything about level design or anything, because that's where Sonic 1 way outshines Sonic 2.
I see how TWIP is okay.
No.
You're supposed to be nice. You're supposed to be nice now.
So let me.
The debate is over. People are already voting.
So, TWIP, what I like about you is that, even though you have a lot of wrong opinions, I still respect you for sticking to them. There's many times where, you'll get a lot of flack from the community for, like your take on this and that, but you stick to them, and I honestly really appreciate that about you. That you stick to your guns and you don't go by what anyone else says. You believe what you believe and you stick to it. And I appreciate that about you. Even though you do have a lot, and I mean a lot of bad takes. I seriously appreciate it.
Thank you.
I think I need to jump in here with the warm fuzzies as well, because I want to extend what Sam was saying too. That TWIP, I don't know what it is, but somehow you find yourself on the opposing side for a lot of people. But I do think that you really try to clarify your opinions. I never, ever have thought that you were being like mindless and not thinking through what you were thinking, even though I disagree with you on a lot of subjects. I'm always interested to hear your take. That's why we keep having you back here, because you have a unique perspective. And I know at times it will feel like the world is against you, but there are people that do appreciate your unique angle and what you bring. And that's why you're here now. And I'm super happy with how today turned out. It was close. And on that note, let's take a look at the results.
Yeah.
No hard feelings. It's just a debate on Sonic.
I already expect it, but I tried my best.
Give me a second here. It was definitely fun. Let's see how this goes. Let me just put on the results here. All right, they're on screen.
If the results are like, I don't really care if I lose, but it would be nice if the results were more in my favor than they were before this started. That would be nice.
Well, so far that is not looking true, Sam. The results are looking like Sam is winning even more than the beginning of the poll.
Nice.
But that's okay. The world was against you. This was definitely something that a lot of people felt passionate about.
Yeah.
And Sonic 2 is the sequel, right? The creators of the game itself were marketing the game to be better. So there's going to be a lot of points out there as to why the sequel is better, just simply based on Sega, right? It's easy for Sam. It's also easy for Sam to beat me, right? Because he switched it. See how I'm getting like biased now at the end because it's over now?
Nice.
Anyway, oh wow, I still have that on. I did that wrong. All right, whoa. Okay. So, we are, oh, Sam's doing that again? All right, well, this has been another Tales Channel debate. It was a lot of fun. Expect more of these. I will say this is a new rule of these debates because it's a new series. Sam cannot return for the next one. So while he did return and he's got his little stamp of President of Sonic on his podium there, it's also similar to presidencies in the fact that you can only have 2 terms. So Sam will not be returning for the next one. We will have 2 completely new guests debating on a new subject. I'm going to try to bring it back to modern Sonic to make sure to balance out on what side of the fence of Sonic we're tackling. So expect that next weekend, so long as nothing stressful happens this week for me and I feel like I need a recharge, which is very possible. But expect that in the near future, regardless. I don't know what time it'll be at now, because it really depends on who we get. But I want to extend an incredibly huge thank you to TWIP for being here today and putting up an incredible fight and putting a lot of effort into all your bullet points. Can I get a heart spam in the chat for TWIP?
Yeah, that's great. He brought a PowerPoint. That's cool.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Thanks. Thanks for having me on. I had a lot of fun. Again, I knew there was no way I was gonna win this discussion because it's Sonic 2 being better than Sonic 1 is more of a. People agree with that more.
It's an uphill battle.
It was a hard fight, I think, but
I think TWIP likes being on the losing side, though. I think he likes to see if he can like change people's minds. Because I noticed you were like, oh, I hope I like had an effect on the chart by the end. And I'm the same way. I'm actually excited myself to take on a more a not popular angle in these debates moving forward. And Sam, I'm sure at some point will find himself on that end, and he will pull from your strength that you showcased today. So thank you, chat, for being so positive. Guys, this was incredible. I said it a million times, but thank you, Sam, of course, for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. Wave bye, TWIP. Come on.
Goodbye.